My beloved ones, my name is Algimantas. I live in Lithuania, and I present to you my teachings. They embrace different fields, but mostly I do desire to speak about Creator, about the Paradise Trinity I am. Creator is made up of 4 personalities, and these personalities have no beginning. They are eternal and even more existential. Therefore, all energy is generated by Creators out of Himself. We do not create energy. We receive energy from Creator. But we cannot, well, some of us, or actually the absolute majority of us, cannot take in Creator's energy directly from Him. Therefore, we take it, say, from a material food we partake of during our meals. But all the same, by partaking of different dishes, we pacify, we calm down our mind, and feeling peace and tranquility in our subconsciousness and consciousness, we can accumulate and assimilate Creator's energy, which is passed by Creator to each of us. Therefore, once we discover Creator within, we begin to feel by the state of mind, by the state of our consciousness, that we have truly discovered Creator within as a personality. And we are also personality, each of us, because this is a bestowal of Creator to each of us, our personality, which is immortal, which is eternal. Therefore, this personality is filled up with all potential through the future eternity, what concerns our wisdom, our love, mercy, justice, goodness, beauty. All eternal values are already bestowed upon each personality, because Creator Himself, being the very source of perfection, of love, of beauty, of goodness, of justice, of truth, of energy, can bestow nothing less than these eternal and living values. Therefore, we have as personalities, each of us, all these eternal values within each of us. But this is in potential. And to make it actual, we need to apply our daily sincere efforts. And once we apply these efforts, and what I mean by these efforts, it's a sincere communion with Creator Himself. Communion means a direct communication with Creator, a living association with Creator by asking Him different questions, and by a sincere and consistent desire to hear what are His responses to your questions. So once you discover Creator within yourself, each of you, you begin to experience the state of consciousness that Creator's personality is within you, that you are within Creator's personality as well, and that you operate as co-creator with Creator Himself on the material plane of civilization. And on this material plane, you have your everyday environment, be it your biological family, or your colleagues, or your brethren in the street, and in different parts of the continent, or different continents, or the whole of the globe, of the planet. So in this case, you begin to manifest Creator by your good deeds. And once you begin to manifest Creator on this level, all the same your personality is feeling Creator's love within after your personality, after you have discovered Creator within. And it means you begin to fuse yourself with Creator. And Creator's love is actually floating in your personality. You become like a living expression of Creator's love to anyone you are associating with. And in this loving association, we begin to deal with your little children, which is a very big problem in today's civilization on our planet. Because living without Creator being discovered within, human mind cannot progress in its development, because progress has been provided by Creator once we lean upon His leading from within. And if we do not even think about Creator as a real and true personality, which can be discovered within, this sort of mind is deteriorating, and it simply cannot express Creator's love. And therefore, human parents are so impatient while dealing with their children. They do desire to express their own desires by commanding their children what they should not do. They do deny children of their independence. They do deny them of their free will manifestation, of their free will expression on their own level, the way they desire to be even like grown-ups, to express their emotions, to get involved in different games, and very often noisy games that irritates their parents. And of course they get impatient. They do desire quietness, tranquility around them, and their children are so naughty, so energetic. They begin to command them, to shout at them. And all this builds up invisible, but a real barrier, a fence. But especially while dealing with little children who are, well, of the age of 3, 4, 5 years old, just before they become high school students, primary school students, where they can develop their independent skills. So it is very sensitive I mean, their consciousness, their nervous system is very sensitive to any command on the part of their parents. They are longing for a cute atmosphere around. They are longing for love. They are longing for warmth on the part of their parents. And all of a sudden, they hear shouting, and even in angry voices. Creator's love should dominate within parents' mind. All this feeling has to be absolutely dominant in Creator's creation. And it has to be dominant in each parent's consciousness and subconsciousness. And in this case, any parent, even if he might does not understand his child in this situation, and even if he or she considers that his child or children might be too noisy, too naughty, just to avoid more serious and grave, bitter consequences, some sort of discord, of argument between the child and himself or herself. So the parent should approach this little child of his or hers and embrace him or her, embrace with love. And that would give the child these love vibrations, and he would calm down without any command just heard on the part or from his parents. Love is the most mighty power. It's the most controlling power, but it does not produce fear. It does not make children like in a shock. All of a sudden, they are losing their interest or even sincere attention in what they have been doing just a moment ago. All this field of their joy has been broken, so that makes them unhappy, because all this happens so unexpectedly and so abruptly, suddenly, because his or her parents got irritated at what they were doing. So the only possible way to solve this issue is by demonstrating nothing but love on the part of the parents. And if you begin to scold your children, you plant, you sow the seeds of anxiety in the heart of a child and of the child. You may make your child to obey your commands, your wishes, but trust in you on the part of the child shall be broken. And to restore, to regain this trust would cost you much more energy and efforts. But you might not break down this confidence in your children's sincere hearts. If you follow Creator's leading within, who is nothing but the source of and center of love. Therefore, to manifest Creator in your relationship with children, you should also express nothing but love, even in such conflicting situations that might provoke irritation within you. But if you sincerely begin to feel Creator's love, Creator's personality within, you shall not be able to radiate anything but love to your children in any situation. And that will not break the circuit of love that you have been creating together with your children before within the realms of your family. And in this case, the child or children will not develop such a awful and controlling power even in their subconsciousness. Fear, which is killing love, killing this feeling of Creator's love. And the more fear is within a child, the less trust he will be feeling in you. Therefore, by just expressing any dissatisfaction with your children's behavior and expressing it by shouting it at them, you are doing a lot of harm to your children's mind. And this imprint would be deeply set in your children's subconsciousness. And it will have its own effect even when the child is grown up person, and even when he has his own or her own family and his or her children, and while dealing with their children, they might repeat the same mistake by controlling their children by using commands and raised voice, which you shall never do while dealing with your children in love, in Creator's love, and by Creator's love. And by using nothing else but Creator's love, you will achieve a sincere relationship with your children. And this relationship will be developing, and you will begin to realize that there is no other clue to consolidating your living communion with your children, no matter what age might be, that this true and living communion between you and your children shall develop, because it is Creator's desire that His love should be a dominant factor within each child's heart, subconsciousness, and consciousness. And it is so important to know, to each parent, that it is only love that solves all seemingly grave and insolvable problems within the family and in their relationships, not only with their children, but also with other people. So you should keep in mind that Creator knows everything from the end, and He knows that the dominant power of His love shall dominate the whole of creation. And our planet is not an exception. So Creator's love shall dominate in the mankind, even though today it doesn't look like a possible thing, but it shall be. And children shall never be abused, shall never be commanded, but loved by their parents. And their rights, which now are considered quite often being abused and violated by their parents, shall vanish altogether. Because once Creator's love is dominant, so you do not care about any other rights. Rights are only within that realm where there are some violations of certain laws, where there are some abuse of love circuit. But if it is dominant, so all rights simply melt in Creator's love. And you have just one desire, to live in the circuit and even build up Creator's love circuit by making it stronger in your everyday relationship, including your relationship within family and while dealing with your little children. And all of a sudden you will realize that your children turned into very energetic children, but having a wonderful self-control, which is self-control on the basis of Creator's love. And that transforms your interrelationship within family. And that is also a wonderful discovery by your personality, because Creator has provided you, as He has designed a lot of different experiences with plenty of surprises. And all of a sudden you shall get a new surprise on the part of your own approach to your own children and your children's approach to you. Once you're dealing in your living relationship the way Creator has designed you to deal. And that's a wonderful experience. And I wish you to start living your true life the way you are being led by Creator from within. And all of a sudden you shall discover that all the problems begin to appear to you not that insolvable and so big. You will realize that with Creator everything's possible, and you will solve them in your circuit of love that has been provided to you by Creator Himself. And I wish you that you would be within the embrace of Creator and feeling this embrace within your consciousness.